Good day everyone, we are Group 1 and today we'll present to you water cycle. So let's get started. But before we start, we need to know what is water cycle, so here is Janelle Pangilinan.
What is water cycle? The water cycle, also known as the hydrological cycle, is a continuous and dynamic process that describes the movement of water on, above, and under the Earth's surface. It involves a series of interconnected steps through which water changes its state and location within the Earth system. At its core, the water cycle consists of several key processes: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, infiltration, and transpiration. Evaporation is when water from oceans, rivers, lakes, and other bodies of water is heated by the sun and transforms into water vapor rising into the atmosphere. As water vapor rises higher in the atmosphere, it cools and condenses into tiny droplets, forming clouds, which is condensation. When the condensed water droplets in clouds became too heavy, they fall back to the Earth's surface as precipitation in the form of rain, snow, sleet, or hail. It is the precipitation. Runoff, when precipitation that falls onto land can flow over the surface as runoff, eventually returning to bodies of water such as rivers, lakes, and oceans. Infiltration. Some precipitation infiltrates the soil, replenishing groundwater reserves and sustaining plant life through root uptake. Transpiration, when plants absorb water from the soil through their roots and release it into the atmosphere through tiny pores in their leaves, contributing to the water vapor in the air. This continuous cycle of evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, infiltration, and transpiration ensures the distribution of water throughout the Earth ecosystem, sustaining life and shaping the planet's climate and weather patterns.
Now that we know what is water cycle, we need to know the process of it. So here is Ayesha Aquino and Lisa Granada.
So, the term water cycle, which is also used to refer to the hydrologic or hydrological cycles, denotes an ongoing movement of water on Earth's surface as well as underneath it. The water cycle explains how water leaves the water Earth's surface, rises into the sky, cools, condenses as rain or snow in clouds, and then returns to the surface as precipitation. Rainfall on land gathers in lake, rivers, soil, and porous rock strata. A large portion of this water then follows back into the ocean to evaporate again. Then, one important component of Earth's weather patterns is the movement of water in and out of the atmosphere. The constant movement of water through the Earth's atmosphere is known as the water cycle. So, the runoff, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, and evaporation are among the several processes that make up the water cycle that are most significant. Water distributed differently throughout the many activities in the cycle, even if the overall volume of water is nearly constant. Rain is continuous flow of water that descends from the earth into the atmosphere and returns there. Since the sun is too hot, water from lakes, ponds, rivers, puddles, and streams evaporates. From their leaves, plants can release a significant amount of water. Evaporation of water ascends. Water vapor condenses to create tiny driplets of water on little dust particles when it cools into the cooler air higher up in the atmosphere. Then, when these raindrops coalesce, clouds are created. The water droplets enlarge as the clouds cool even further. They descend as the rain on earth when they get too heavy. The water cycle in nature is sustained by the rainwater that forms seas, rivers, lakes, ponds, and streams once more before evaporating back into the atmosphere. So, while the schematic of the water cycle, in this process, the total number of water particles stays constant while the water undergoes phases shifts. It is stated differently. Even if 100 grams of water were collected and brought to a boil, 100 grams of steam would still remain in the mixture. And then the water that is produced would also weigh 100 grams if 100 grams of steam were collected and condensed. There are numerous ways the water can change states, including sublimation, condensation, deposition, melting, and evaporation. Energy application is necessary for all of these improvements.
The water cycle, also known as hydrological cycle, is a continual journey of water between the Earth's surface and the atmosphere. The sun drives the process of evaporation in the water cycle. The sun interacts with liquid water on the ocean surface, transforming it into a visible gas. Evaporation is also affected by room temperature and the density of the water. The water cycle includes crucial processes such as evaporation, where liquid water transfers into a gaseous form, ascending to join the sky's celestial palette, condensation, and precipitation. But they are not the only ones. Runoff, for example, refers to the various ways in which liquid water travels across land. Snow melt, for example, is a significant type of runoff created when snow or glacier melt, forming streams or pools. Transpiration is an important component of the water cycle. Transpiration is the mechanism by which water vapor is released from plants in soil. But the journey doesn't end here. Once passed upon the earth, water embarks on a pilgrimage of its own, flowing through rivers and streams, carving pathways through the landscape. Some water seeps into the earth, replenishing up under the ground aquifers, while the rest finds it going back to the vast embrace of the ocean, ready to be consumed. And so, the timeless cycle continues an eternal mirror of renewing water, keeping the tapestry of life on our beautiful planet.
So now we need to know the effects of water cycle and the climate change. So here is Azi Kiambang.
Hi, I'm Azra Dikembao and let me discuss to you the effects of water cycle on climate change. Firstly, as temperature rise, the water cycle intensifies, fueling extreme weather events, altering precipitation patterns, and impacting ecosystem like agriculture and human livelihoods, highlighting its pivotal role in exacerbating climate change. On second thought, what does water cycle mean? The water cycle or hydrological cycle is best defined as the continuous movement of water on, above, and below the surface of the earth. Now let's explore how this cycle interacts with climate change. Firstly, let's talk about evaporation. This is when the temperature rises due to global warming and water evaporates from oceans, rivers, and lakes, increasing the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. This factor leads to changes in precipitation patterns, increasing the air warmer and retaining moisture, resulting in rain or drought in other parts of the world. But it doesn't stop there. The excess water from heavy rainfall often leads to runoff, carrying pollutants and sediments into our waterways, affecting aquatic ecosystem and water quality. Moreover, changes in precipitation patterns can have far-reaching consequences on agriculture, food security, and human livelihoods. Further, it can exacerbate extreme weather events such as hurricanes, typhoons, and heat waves, causing widespread devastation and loss of life. In short, the water cycle is a fundamental driver of climate patterns, and any disruption to this cycle profoundly affects our planet's climate system.
We also need to learn what is the importance of water cycle. So here is Kaizen Devino.
Now, picture a liquid waterfall from the sky filling our oceans, streams, and trees. In other terms, it is a simplified version of the hydrologic cycle, which is the water cycle itself. It is not the only preservation of us and every living organism that, in the end, is the most fundamental function, undoubtedly. The process is like an everlasting delivery service that carries nutrients such as it visits all around, and thus, it is the food source of the environment. Imagine it as a way of to preserve the different facets of the Earth's ecosystem, such as the forests, rivers, oceans, and coastal areas. But that's not all. This fountain also enhances cleaning powers by immediately displacing the steady movement of sediment. It is like a self-flushing toilet that helps to keep the rivers clean and void of particles. Furthermore, water is like a type of glue that interconnects and erases boundaries among the many constituents of climate. It gets us all. Magnificently ties the air we breathe, all the fluffy clouds out there, the vast oceans that are host to life, and even the snow that covers up mountaintops. One can see water cycle at work here, and it's very incredible to watch a constant movement and perpetual circle of water journeys. Finally, the water cycle is wisely designed to flow through living things to keep the world balanced. It is an actual dance or actual movement in which fresh water always remains available.
After learning the importance of water cycle for us individuals, let me discuss some ways we can take care of water cycle. In caring for water cycle, we should remember that simple step has a big impact. The water cycle is a constant journey of water on, above, and even below the surface of the earth. This is a necessary process that makes the world survive. Though we wash away the water cycle itself, there are projects we can all take to maintain its health. At home, we can take shorter showers, fix leaky faucets, turn off the water while brushing our teeth, and wash full loads of laundry. As a community, we can dispose of chemicals properly, don't pour grease down the drain, and pick up trash. Lastly, as an individual, we can look for products made with recycled materials, support companies that conserve water, and advocate for water protection policies.